Hi, I'm Colin Beeman, and today we're going to be going through a technique that I'm sure a lot of you guys already know or are semi-familiar with. What am I talking about today? Well, I already showed you guys how to create oversteer in a couple of different forms, with left foot braking, with pendulum turns, and with the handbrake. So I figured, what better way to finish off a series than to show you the last bit of oversteer information that I have for you guys, which is the Art of Lift-Off Oversteer. What is lift-off oversteer? Lift-off oversteer is simply put, being on throttle, coming up to a corner, and rapidly lifting off and using that engine brake and that momentum that's shifting the weight forward to break the rear wheels loose. Well, instead of sitting here talking about it, let's go ahead and hop in the car and I'll show you guys what's what. Now, when is this technique used? It's used in a multitude of different scenarios. I rarely use this technique, although at points it is sometimes the appropriate choice. But a lot of times it's used in like drifting or in rally events, just trying to get the vehicle to shift weight rapidly, as they'll lift the throttle kind of hard to get the weight to shift. For the most part, this is primarily a drifting technique. This technique is not very difficult. All you're really doing is just getting on throttle when you need to, and it's just timing, right? So I'm going to go ahead and go into second, where I have a little bit more use of the engine brake. Now, I'm going to start on the left side of the road. I know you guys can't see this, but you guys will see what I'm talking about through the side window and whatever else. So I'll get on throttle, lift off and turn. Out of a slide is to point the wheel where you need to be going and get on throttle, and it'll pull you straight, obviously, right? So I beg of you guys to remember that when trying this technique, because it's very easy, especially going down a dirt road in a straight line and you're just fishtailing back and forth, to end up spinning out, especially in this car. This car is very short and nimble, so it does like to spin out very quickly. So real quick, we're going to go through it again. Well guys, I hope this was informative for you guys. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys picked something up that maybe you hadn't thought about before, or maybe you just weren't sure about. Secondly, You know, of course, this technique is nowhere near as important, I would say, as some other techniques that I've shown you guys or plan on showing you guys, but it is definitely one to add to your repertoire. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it is just screwing around. But for the most part, it's, you know, much like with a lot of other things, when you play, you're actually learning some important techniques. Premise of lift-off oversteer is to show you that, yes, you can get a front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive vehicle to rotate with just throttle modulation. It teaches you a bit more about the suspension of the car and the geometry and the physics of it, and, you know, how that plays a role in these activities. And secondly, it shows you and teaches you how to correct oversteer. Nevertheless, I hope you guys enjoyed, and you know, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave them down below. Same with perhaps video ideas or techniques you guys would want to see in the future. That way we can get those handled for you guys and taken care of.